Hi everyone, welcome to Infidelity Chronicles channel that I'm excited to share a new story with you. I thought we were just cuddling, but then his hand moved and everything changed. I had a husband, a home, a life that looked perfect from the outside. But inside I was disappearing, and the one person who noticed was the last one who should have. This isn't just a story about touch. It's about the silence between it and what happens when desire finds you in the wrong place at the wrong time. I didn't know how far gone I really was until it was too late. My name is Emma. I'm 40 and lately I don't recognize my own reflection, not in the mirror, not in my relationship s, not in the life I built, thinking it would feel like home. There's something that's been sitting on my T for weeks now, like wet laundry. No one wants to fold. I haven't told anyone, not my sister, not my best friend, and certainly not Liam, my husband, because what I'm about to say isn't something you can just float out into the world without it crashing back down on top of you. I thought we were just cuddling, but my stepson, he had other plans. I know how that sounds. I hate how that sounds, but if I start there, you won't understand what came before. You won't understand me. When Liam and I first got together, I felt seen. I mean, really seen, the kind of gaze that cuts past your clothes and your smile and goes straight to your core. He was 10 years older, confident, stable, had this deep laugh that made everything feel warmer. I was 31, still figuring out how to trust again, still recovering from the kind of love that leaves you afraid to exhale too hard. Liam made it safe to exhale, and it was S***XY in that quiet, grown-up kind of way where the S***X isn't rushed, where you're actually listening to each other's breath. We'd spend weekends wrapped up in each other, the kind of closeness that makes the world shrink down to skin and whispers. But slowly, in that way, you don't notice until it's too late. That closeness began to fray. Now when he kisses me, it's more like a check-in than a spark. When he holds me in bed, his hands feel heavy, like they're asking something I don't know how to give anymore. Even cuddling feels like choreography. We touch, but we don't reach. I think the moment I knew something had shifted was one morning. Maybe 3 weeks ago, I was sitting on the edge of the bed pulling on socks, and Liam came up behind me, wrapped his arms around my waist, and instead of leaning into it like I used to, I flinched. That was the first time I admitted to myself, this doesn't feel like love anymore. It feels like pretending. Liam's a trauma surgeon. He's used to blood chaos, saving lives with split-second decisions, and turning off the emotional noise when it's not useful. He's brilliant at what he does. But at home that same switch stays flipped off, and I've spent years trying not to resent it. He shows love with gestures, touch routines, a hand on my lower back when I'm cooking, a firm kiss before bed, even if we haven't really talked all day. He thinks intimacy is maintenance, that as long as we still have X once or twice a week, things are fine, but I need something deeper. I need to feel known, not managed. Last Thursday night, I was curled up on the couch with a blanket and a half-finished glass of red wine. I'd just gotten off a tense call with my mom about her health. Nothing urgent, but enough to leave me emotionally scraped. Liam came home late, smelling like antiseptic and exhaustion. I thought he might ask me what was wrong. I even scooted over, making room beside me. He didn't ask. He just dropped his bag and slid in behind me, wrapped his arms around my waist. To him, that's comfort. To me, it felt like being smothered. I wanted to talk. I needed him to see me instead. He pressed his lips to my neck and I tensed. I didn't mean to, but I froze up like my body was siding with the part of me that's been quietly fading. You okay? He asked, his voice muffled. I forced a smile. Yeah, just tired. He pulled me in tighter, like that could fix it, but it only made me feel lonelier. Saturday mornings used to be our thing. Slow breakfasts. The New York Times spread out across the table. Liam would make French toast, and I'd pretend I didn't care how much syrup he used. There was always laughter, always some kind of touch that felt easy, a brush of fingers, his legs sliding against mine under the table. This morning he made French toast, but the silence between us was louder than the sizzle of the pan. He kissed me when he handed me the plate, a soft one on the temple, and I managed a half smile, more out of obligation than affection. After we ate, I wandered upstairs to fold laundry. I needed the space, I needed to move. That's when he came up behind me again, arms sliding around my waist like we were still 30 and magnetic. I didn't flinch this time, but I froze. It was the difference between fear and numbness. "You've been distant lately," he said. Into my neck. "I've just been tired," I muttered, folding one of his undershirts too tightly. He didn't buy it. Of course, he didn't, but he didn't ask for more either. Instead, he kissed the back of my neck, trailing warmth down my spine. One of his hands slid lower over my H***********. I didn't stop him, but I didn't respond either. He pulled me closer, turning me so our bodies touched C******** T to C******* T. "You remember when we used to fold laundry naked," he said, smiling like it was a private joke. I laughed, quiet, hollow. "Yeah," I said, eyes not meeting him. I remember he kissed me deep this time, like he was trying to wake something up. But I didn't feel anything. No flutter, no ache, just a pit forming in my stomach. He pulled back, confused, searching my face. "You okay?" he asked again. I nodded too quickly. "Yeah, just a lot on my mind." He touched my cheek and I didn't lean in. Later I stood at the window while he watched TV downstairs. I tried to figure out when exactly my body stopped recognizing him. Why I felt so cold inside when he looked at me like I was still his, and all I could think was, why does everything have to turn into S*************? It happened over takeout of all things. Liam had ordered Thai from the place we used to go to when we were still dating, a peace offering, maybe, or nostalgia. He even lit a damn candle in the center of the table, like ambience could fix what we hadn't named. We were halfway through eating when he reached across the table and rested his hand on mine. "Just simple. Warm too much, you've been pulling away," he said softly. "I'm trying, Nora, but I don't know what I'm doing wrong," and I snapped, "You think, Pad? Thai and candles are going to make me feel close to you again." I said too loud, "You think kissing me when I'm folding laundry means we're okay?" His hand pulled back like I burned him. "I'm trying, Nora," he said, voice tight. "Now I touch you because I love you, I want you. You act like that's a bad thing because it is." I shouted, "It feels like pressure, like I owe you something just for existing in this house." The room went silent. The candle flickered between us like it didn't want to be there either. Liam looked stunned, hurt, maybe even humiliated. "I didn't know you felt that way," he said quietly. I laughed, bitter. "Of course you didn't. You haven't asked me anything real in months. You think cuddling or grabbing my ass in the kitchen is connected." He stared at me for a second too long, then stood. "I don't know what to do with this," he said, walking away. The front door closed behind him 6 minutes later. I just sat there. The takeout is still warm. My C****** T heaving. My face is hot with shame. Why did I yell? Why now? He was trying. Wasn't he? I buried my face in my hands and tried not to cry, but the tears came anyway, bitter and helpless and hollow. I thought back to last week when I was on the couch and his son, my stepson Jeremy, sat next to me and wrapped an arm around me just to watch TV. It felt simple, easy, but even that moment wasn't what I thought, because I thought we were just cuddling. But Jeremy had other plans. It's been 3 weeks since that night since I said too much, and he said nothing at all. We still live in the same house, but it feels like cohabiting with a stranger. We move around each other, quietly, polite, restrained. We text instead of talk. Dinners are eaten in silence or in separate rooms. He's been sleeping on the pull-out in his office. I never asked him to. He never asked if he should. Sometimes I catch him looking at me, like he wants to say something. Other times he avoids my eyes altogether. He still makes coffee in the morning. A second mug is always waiting for me on the counter, but we don't speak. That hurts more than if he'd stopped completely. Liam isn't a villain. I know that he's trying to protect himself, now the same way I did for months. Yesterday I saw him standing in the backyard, staring at nothing, shoulders tight. It was a small moment, but it wrecked me. The man I married doesn't know how to carry pain out loud. He just holds it until it either numbs or caves him in, and I miss him. God, I miss him, but I don't know how to reach across this distance without betraying myself again. Without pretending everything's fine when it's not. And underneath it all, there's still the memory I haven't spoken aloud. Jeremy that night on the couch, the way his touch lingered too long, the way his hand moved like it had permission. It never should have asked for. I haven't told Liam, I don't know if I ever will, but I know I'm standing at a crossroad. Either I find a way back to my husband, or I leave before we both disappear entirely. Tonight I found Marcus asleep on the couch, curled on his side, like he used to when he worked night shifts and didn't want to wake me. His face looked older, somehow not just tired, but worn down, softened at the edges like something had given out inside him, and he was too proud to admit it. I stood there for a long time, just watching him breathe, and then maybe selfishly. I sat down beside him, lightly placed my hand on his shoulder. He stirred, eyes opening, groggy, then wide, but he didn't pull away. "Emma," he said, his voice Rafuoka. I nodded, though it wasn't quite true. I didn't want to go to bed without saying something. He sat up slowly, blinking at me in the dim light. "You miss me?" he asked. But it wasn't teasing. It sounded like a question he already knew the answer to, but hoped he was wrong. I didn't know how to answer. Not truthfully, I missed us, but not like this. Not anymore. I miss who we were. I whispered. He looked down at his hands. "Yeah," he said, "me too." The silence that followed didn't ache like it used to. It felt final. After a while I leaned in and kissed his forehead, gently like you would a friend. "You're saying goodbye?" to his hand, touched mine briefly, and then dropped. "I think I need to go stay at Lena's for a while." I said. He didn't argue, just nodded. As I packed that night, Jeremy came home late. He passed me on the stairs, eyes flicking to my suitcase. Then away. We didn't speak. But in that quiet I knew one thing with certainty. Some boundaries once crossed make it impossible to come back. You think there are lines in life, clear ones etched in stone. You believe you'll always know when something is right and when something's gone too far. But the truth, most things don't break clean, they erode. They blur. That night on the couch with Jeremy, I told myself we were just cuddling. I wanted to believe it because the alternative was too messy, too wrong, too impossible. But then his hand slid down my thigh, slow and sure, and everything in my body froze. He smiled like it meant nothing, like we were just playing. And I realized he had seen something in my loneliness, something I never meant to offer. I told him to stop. I stood up. I left the room, and then I never told a soul. Because the shame wasn't just about him. It was about me, about the part of me that had grown so disconnected, so touch-starved that even an unwanted gesture had lit up something confused inside me. That's when I knew how lost I really was. Liam wasn't cruel. He wasn't neglectful. He just loved me in a language I couldn't speak anymore, and I kept trying to translate myself into something he'd understand, folding my needs into silence, letting S***X replace intimacy, letting cuddling stand in for connection. But affection without understanding starts to feel like trespassing. Leaving wasn't about punishing him. It was about remembering me, what I need, what I feel, what I'm allowed to say no to even inside a marriage. And now I'm learning how to sit with my own loneliness, how to tell the truth before it cuddles into resentment, how to look at touch and ask, is this for me too? I still dream about Liam sometimes. Sometimes I wake up missing his laugh more than anything, but I don't regret walking away because sometimes love doesn't end with anger or betrayal. Sometimes it ends with 3 people doing their best and still not being able to reach each other. So yeah, I thought we were just cuddling, but life has a way of showing you what you've been ignoring, and I'm finally listening one. Leave your opinion in the comments. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel by activating the bell so you don't miss any of our daily videos. See you tomorrow. My loves.